Good morning everybody, it's Graham again from Unearthed, and this is the next episode of Detecting Talk. You wouldn't believe that I've just sat here for 15 minutes talking a load of spout to use, guys, and the film ran out. I didn't have enough memory left, so I had to delete all the stuff off it and then start again. Happy days. Right folks, let's get on to it. A bit of positive news. This is going to be an interesting film, so keep tuned to this and keep with me if you will, because it will all come apparent. I've done a little bit of preparation for the first time on it. Let's see how it goes. Firstly, a bit of positive news. The detecting organised dig that we did, the Unearthed organised dig at the weekend or Sunday just gone, was a great success. We found some amazing coins and a few artefacts came up as well. Really pleased with the amount of Scottish coins that came up. There was something going on them fields. Some sort of trading going on because of the amount of Scottish coins that were coming up. 16th, 17th century Scottish coins. Some beauties as well, some real nice ones. And of course there were some hammered coins dating back from the Shortcross period right through to Mary, Queen Mary. Groat came up, and Henry VII, Henry VIII, Elizabeth, James I, and so on and so forth. So some really nice coins, Edward I, Henry III even. So there was a good mixture of coins and history coming up off that farm. It's a virgin farm, we've never been on it before, and I think we could have probably another 2 or 3 digs on there because I've got a sneaky feeling some really interesting pieces will come up in the next few months if we get a chance to get back on soon. So that was a real piece of positive news. Sunday just gone, everybody gets on so well. There was wonderful cakes on display. Some of you guys that have viewed the YouTube video before this one would have seen what we found. I didn't get a chance to video everything. It was only a 9-10 minute video or film, but next time I hope to be on my feet better, quicker I should say, and get all the finds filmed. So I do apologise for missing out 1 or 2 choice coins and artefacts. My fault entirely. Right, so that's a bit of positive news. However, like everything in life, there's a lot of negativity floating around, and there seems to be a lot of negativity floating around in the detecting world again. We seem to be under attack from somewhere, somehow. I don't know what's happened, because detectorists not that long ago were seen as the shining light, uncovering all sorts of fantastic finds, coins, artifacts, recording treasure, doing the right thing. You know, we were getting a lot of positive press going back 10-15 years ago. Detectorists were doing a fantastic job. However, we seem to be coming under a lot of negative attack at the moment, and some of it's probably warranted, some of it's probably not warranted, and let's see if we can swim through the mess and uncover what's going on. Now, I have done a bit of preparation, I've done a bit of printing. The first one I'm going to read out is this. Some of you guys that follow social media and are on social media, especially Facebook, would have noticed that quite a few of these posts were going up recently regarding the cricket pitch in Tameside. Okay, so there's some images here of the damage that was done. As you can see them holes, there's me peeping over the top of it. I can hide my face for a bit. You can see all the holes that have been made on the cricket pitch. And there's some other images there for you folks to see. Very neat round holes. No signs of any other disturbance apart from a spade that's dug a neat hole and flipped it out. And on to the next. So no sign of extraction, no sign of a spoil, no sign of soil around the hole where they've been digging extra. Nothing to do with detectorists, folks. However, it seems like some people were blaming detectorists for doing this. Not in so much the news bulletin regarding it, which I'm going to read out now, because it says a cricket club in Tameside has been targeted by vandals who dug up more than 150 holes on their cricket pitch, their beloved cricket pitch. The damage to the wickets at Ashton Ladysmith Cricket Club was discovered earlier this week. It's thought to have happened sometime between 5 PM on Tuesday, 2 PM on Thursday. It's thought to have happened at the Ros Hill Road, Ashton line, which is secure, and to get inside someone would have to scale a 6-foot fence with a spade. That's why club bosses believe the attack is deliberate and premeditated. Club manager David Gaskin discovered the damage. It's definitely deliberate, he said. Over 150 holes have been dug with a spade. However, that news snippet was put on social media with people blaming detectorists. Nothing to do with detectorists. A detectorist wouldn't go on there and dig 150 neat holes like that without any extraction. Why would they do it? Broad daylight possibly as well. Never been done by a detectorist. So if you see this cropping up on social media, it might calm down a little bit now, but if you see it cropping up on social media, on Facebook like I did and other places, feel free to respond. Nothing to do with detectorists. Someone's had a smack with a cricket club for some reason and done that damage. Now, it'll probably take a while for that to repair, which is a shame, but leave the detectorists out of it, folks. Nothing to do with detectorists. Thank you very much. Leading on to the next one, which is also nothing to do with detectorists. The appalling attack on the farmer. Right? Appalling attack. I cannot say that enough. In Pocklington. A Pocklington man, farmer, is in hospital with a serious head injury after he was assaulted while confronting illegal metal detectorists on his land, police say. Right? The police say he challenged the farmer challenged men who were night hawking on his farm on Yapham Road shortly after midnight on Saturday the 6th of April. So not that long ago, folks. Not that long ago at all. The suspects left the scene in a silver vehicle believed to be an Audi. Now, I think they got the first part of the registration. I'm hoping that the police can go on and find out who did this and arrest the people, charge them and make an absolute example of them, because they're not detectorists. They're nothing to do with the detecting community, right? What it is, they've got their hands on a detector and gone off into the fields at night to find potential items that they could probably sell on illegally. So the criminals that have got their hands on a detector, right? That's all they are. Nothing to do with the detecting community. Absolutely nothing to do with the detecting community. However, we're getting branded now off the back of this appalling attack. So let's have a response, a strong response about this. Let's get this straight. These guys are not detectorists. They're illegal criminals that have attacked a farmer at midnight when he's confronted them as trespassers and give him a bit of a hiding by the sounds of it, hit him with a spade by the sounds of it. I was also reading and was, but I was led to believe that there was 2 farmers that were injured, but this BBC article only states 1. So let's see if anything more comes of that. But let's get to the bottom of this. This is nothing to do with metal detecting. It's nothing to do with us as detectorists. It's idiots that have got their hands on a detector. Criminals, actually, that have got their hands on a detector and gone out at night thinking they can get fame and fortune off the back of it illegally. Wrong. Completely wrong. It's like me having a screwdriver to fix my car, big flat bladed screwdriver, 7 inches, 8 inches long, to get to my radiator hose, right, and I leave it on the top, and some criminal comes along, picks it up and starts stabbing people with it. Similar thing. I will defend the detectorists to the hilt. Nothing to do with us detectorists, these idiots. And as soon as they're caught, the better. Let's hope we can make an example of these fools. Because that's all they are, scum. To attack a farmer. The farmer did the right thing. He doesn't want people wandering on his land at night, making a bloody mess of his arable land. It's obviously a rich area of history, right? He ploughs it every couple of years, right? These idiots must be watching to get on there in the first place. And he's done the right thing by going out and watching. Finding out who's on his land trespassing. Something must have spooked the farmer. Must have seen a car pull up, must have seen a light. He's gone out there to confront him and ended up getting beat up, which is an absolute appalling, coward-like attack. Wouldn't use anything else, would they? Have to use a tool. They wouldn't go face to face with them, one on one. No, they're cowards. They have to use spades to hit the farmer with. They're idiots. So the farmer's currently in a stable condition. Humberside police say night hawking often involves archaeological sites, with offenders often stealing coins and other artefacts for historical and financial value. In a statement, police said counties such as the East Riding of Yorkshire is particularly vulnerable to the rich heritage and large amounts of arable land. So they're obviously going on there to steal, acquit, whatever. They have no place in the detecting world. They shouldn't even be mentioned in the same breath. They're just criminals. They should be dealt with appropriately and jailed off the back of it. I'd be happy to see these guys do a stretch for that, because they're nothing more than cowardly criminals. I mean, it would be nice to think that they would be caught, and the police, let's hope the police do the right thing and catch them with their powers that they've got. They've got the first part of the registration, I'm pretty sure. They're silver Audi. Let's hope somebody out there knows who they are and bubbles them in. So that's that. Disgraceful. Let's hope that also the metal detecting community could maybe raise a few quid for the farmers to say, listen guys, we're not bad people. I don't know. There might be something good that can come off the back of a horrendous situation there, but that is absolutely appalling. I'm ashamed that these people are going around at night doing that kind of thing, attacking people with spades. You know, why don't they try to get permission on places and go in the daytime and do the right thing? Mind you, they're not detectorists, so they're not going to do that, at least. So let's put that one to bed. So it's a disgrace. And I know a lot of you guys out there will agree with me. And let's see some of your comments. Let's see some comments off you guys out there, you know, about this attack, how appalling it is. Because I mean, you know, I'll be in agreement with you guys 100%, absolutely 100%. So there's a lot going on, negative press, and of course us detectorists get it, us good old detectorists get it in the neck, us good guys. But you know, let's make sure we put the right response out there. If you see people having a go at detectorists, just make sure you tell them straight, these are nothing to do with detectorists, they're criminals. Okay? Good stuff. Another one that's come up, which I found interesting, was is on Twitter. Now, Twitter seemed to be alive with a lot of final liaison officers talking about changes to the Treasure Act. One or two of them did seem to be a little bit excited about what was coming, which was not surprising, but I was one or two of them were a little bit distasteful in my opinion. But what I did see was a copy of a snippet from a magazine. I think it was a British Museum type magazine. A detectorist put an article in there, no less. Now, I'm not going to name this detectorist because you guys probably already know him or maybe have seen the article, but it talks about metal detecting should be licensed. Now, we talked about this, didn't we, on a few of the earlier, or one of the earlier films about the detecting license being spoken about. And it seems that a detectorist out there from Lincolnshire has put an article in one of these British Museum type papers talking about metal detecting should be licensed. Now, my first response to it was, how bloody ridiculous. You're a detectorist, mate, doing the right thing, because you say at the bottom, you are, who you've named yourself, is an independent detectorist and a self-recorder from Lincolnshire. Fine. But then you start talking about the licence scheme, what it should be doing. I'll read a little bit out for you, and I won't bore you too much, but the consultation document in its section on the long-term future of the treasure process suggests introduction of a regulation where archaeological digging is allowed only by permit, as it already is in the case of Northern Ireland. There has been a huge increase in number of people now owning a detector in the UK over the past few years, many of them new users with little or no knowledge of the code of practice or the correct procedures to follow. Machines these days are very user-friendly and can be easily mastered straight out of the box. Now, these are the words of the detectorist who's put this in, okay? There is no onus on retailers, that's me as well, I'm a retailer, aren't I? Or private sellers to educate their customers on the code, the PAS, or how to gain legitimate permission to detect. Well, come on, mate. I've been doing that from day one. I do it every single day of the week, including Saturdays and Sundays, by email, by phone, by messenger. So you need to be a little bit re-educated on that part, mate. Pal. We'll call him pal. Many mistakes are being made, mostly through the inadequate education. A licence to own and use a metal detector could, in my opinion, be a good platform on which to present all that is needed to enter the hobby with the correct attitude and knowledge. Issuing all the relevant information and guidelines along with a licence would be a great benefit to newcomers and would help them to ask the right questions from the outset. How a licence or permit or both would be applied, however, is a key concern. The costs and restrictions they would put on the hobby are questions that would certainly need clarity. I would certainly agree with the requirements of a licence to own and use a metal detector, but the term permit would also mean restrictions on how detectors were used and where. The hobby in England and Wales has enjoyed years of relative freedom. Wow, freedom. You know, if detecting in fields is classed as freedom, you know, God help us. God help us. Because this country is going to the dogs, folks. It's going to the dogs because there's so much upheaval, there's so much restriction being placed on people. Get a grip. If you're going to go and attack somebody, go and attack these people that are wielding knives around in London. Stop making out that the detectorists going out in the fields is classed as freedom. It's classed as a hobby that people enjoy. It's classed as a hobby that people enjoy doing because it benefits their health and well-being and their knowledge of history. And it's uncovering the past, coins and artefacts that would be otherwise lost. You maniac. Right. And then it says, right, so the hobby in England and Wales has enjoyed years of relative freedom. To change that would be an issue to many. The price of a licence would also be a concern to most, and it should not be set at such a level to discriminate against those less able to pay. I do feel, however, that needing a licence to own a metal detector would act as a deterrent to the current situation of being able to just go out and buy a detector and head out into the fields, parks, etc. with no further thought. Licensing in this manner would also throw a light on the number of detectors in use. I figure that has been wildly varied estimations over the years, and it carries on and on, so I'm not going to read it out. But, so I was quite prickly about this, right, because I don't think a licence is the way forward. However, I do have to agree with this gentleman on one front, right? This is where it gets interesting. So he says, right, people are coming into the hobby, they're buying metal detectors, they haven't got a clue, right? They haven't got a clue how to use them properly. They don't know the code of practice, they don't know the code of conduct. They're not really up on the Portable Antiquity Scheme, even though that's voluntary. They're not really up on the Treasure Act. And he has got a point. So I'm not out to beat anybody up over this. He has got a point. He has got a point in so much as us as at Unearthed, we constantly give people advice and guidance how to detect properly. So if you'll see some of these films on here, way back, it'll tell you how to gain permission correctly, how to go about doing the right thing, record your coins and artifacts if you wish. I record all my coins with the Fitzwilliam Museum. Martin Allen is a terrific guy. Send him images over by email. Within a day or two it comes back with a full response, mint and money, as we've discussed. I love that system. I love it. It's such an easy system. No hassle from me, no hassle from them. Widening my knowledge, widening their knowledge also. Easy street. Right, so we give advice and guidance every day of the week. I get emails every day of people saying, I've just bought a detector, right, and I want to know where I can use it. I live in Cheshire. I've just bought a metal detector this week and I'm going out into my local park and I am getting thrown off because I'm not allowed to use it on there. Can you help me? Swindon. And this continues in all areas of the UK. Right, we're getting this every day, and it's because our website comes up in all these different regions and it talks about advice and guidance, so people are automatically looking and coming to me for advice and guidance. Here's the problem. The problem is they're buying them off Amazon and eBay. So they're buying them off Amazon and eBay, there's nobody to talk to, they're buying them blind. The people that are selling them on Amazon and eBay, and Amazon in particular, are probably from abroad, a lot of them. So they're buying them and there's absolutely no advice and guidance in place for these people to pick up. So the first thing they do is to come to me, and probably other dealers out there as well. But we get a lot, we get them every day. I had one yesterday from Bolton. Hasn't got a clue where to use it. Where did you buy it from? John. Call him John. I bought it off Amazon. Well, go back to Amazon then. Go back to Amazon and get your advice and guidance. You could easily say that. It boils me. Boils my blood when they come to me asking for advice. I never bought the machine off us in the first place. They're buying them off bloody Amazon. So, it's a problem. And he is correct in what he says. There's people buying detectors and they're not getting advice and guidance how to use them or where to use them or how to go about gaining permission, etc, etc. So it's a growing hobby. There's more and more people buying off these outlets, but they're not getting the correct advice and guidance. I'm quite amazed how many people buy off eBay and Amazon. They buy off eBay, they've got no warranty, because the warranty, if it's a second-hand machine, by the way, the warranty lies with the person who bought it in the first place. And when he's passed it on to somebody else, that warranty no longer exists. So you've got to be careful. The manufacturer might pick it up, but some of the dealers won't. And if you're buying off Amazon direct, brand new, you're not getting any advice off anybody how to use it. They're just buying them blind. So detecting in its richness and all its social media activity and its vibrancy, you know, can become a victim of its own success in so much as there's a heck of a lot of people posting a heck of a lot of finds out there. People are looking at it on Instagram saying, wow, look at all these finds coming up, I'm going to have to buy a detector. They go off and buy one off Amazon and haven't got a clue how to use it. So some detector manufacturers do put a code of conduct in the pamphlets and they do put information in with the box, but obviously people are not reading it or it's not coming with that. But that is a problem. So I do agree with this guy in so much as You know, they're buying them and they're not being educated properly. You know, I bet I've had 20 emails, and what are we on? Not even mid-April yet. I've had 20 emails in April from people buying metal detectors, not of us, eBay, Amazon, like I've said, and haven't got a clue how to use it. That's a lot. It happens every day. So it's a problem. I don't know how to resolve that in so much as, you know, do we educate the sellers a little bit? Do they need to step up? You know, some of you guys might know the answer to it. Feel free to leave a comment. It's always good to hear from you. So that's, you know, there's a lot going on, isn't there? You know, I mean, detecting it's just, why don't people just let us do what we've got to do? The vast majority, what would you say it was, 95% of the people do the right thing and just enjoy the hobby? It's the 5%, should we call it 5% or less? And making the hobby, giving the hobby a bad name. You cannot punish people for that silly minority of people doing the wrong thing, going out at night armed. So let's hear some response off you guys. It'd be good to hear from you. Lastly, I had to have a chuckle because last week I was trolled for the first time on YouTube. Some guy calling himself Jeeper called me Hey Elvis collars, because I remember in the black jacket what I have with the Unearthed logo, well, sometimes I have the colours up on it. And he called me, Hey Elvis collars, are you the town crier? You're such a man bitch. Started giving me a bit of stick on some of the videos. Now, if you guys out there have got YouTube channels that are slowly growing, you're going to get this. You're going to get trolls. You'll get a couple of them unlikes, you know, which is fine. You know, they don't realise when they give you an unlike, it actually boosts up. You know, YouTube see that as a positive thing, and it all adds to the flavour of it. But you will get trolled by one or two idiots out there. So the best way to deal with them, and what's the point of responding and getting into a spat? You can't physically meet with these guys and say, what's your problem? Because they're hidden behind a computer screen, because they're warriors, aren't they? The little keyboard warriors. So the best thing to do is what I do, is delete them. Delete them and block them, and then you don't have to hear from the idiots anymore. They've got a sad life as it is to start doing that on places like YouTube, or maybe they've got a drink problem at night and they start getting a little bit prickly behind the keyboard because they don't find the nice things that we do. Or I might be just that little bit better looking than him on the screen. He's probably big and right ugly idiot, and he thinks, oh, I don't like the look of him. Well, what could it be? Jealousy. But good old Elvis collars, as he called me, good old Jeeper, he's gone. He's been deleted and blocked. So the advice that I can give you, if you're growing your YouTube channel, don't respond to these idiots. Because if you start responding to them, it makes you look a little bit... Because I could respond to them, I could blast them, I really could go to town on them. But what's the point? It's a waste of energy. So just ignore them and block them. That's my advice to you guys. Because you will get them. As your channel grows bigger and bigger, you know, some of these guys that have 20,000 plus people, they must get some real serious stick off people. And hats off to you for dealing with them. Because the best way to do it, in my eyes, is delete the comments and block them, so they can't see your content anymore. Okay, so that's that point of it. Let's see if we can hear some response off you wonderful people. And the next film might be a bit of a coil test, and we've got some other interesting bits and pieces coming up. This door behind me is our showroom. That's just been, my father has been up here cleaning it all out and doing it up, which is fantastic. What a great guy he is. Thanks for that, Dad. And I'm hoping that we'll have some interesting stuff coming up very soon. So watch this space. Catch up with you guys very soon. Have a good week. All the best.